What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode number 8 of the Stadia Initiative podcast. Today's date is July 24th, 2020. Episode number 8 is entitled RELAX. And we record this podcast live every 2 weeks on Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time normally. Today's a special day because I have to work later tonight. So unfortunately, we are here just a little bit earlier. But that's cool because now we get some people across the pond. I know Jem was happy that we are here earlier. So hi, Jem. Hi, chat. How's everyone doing? My name is Brian, if you don't know, and I think it's time to assemble. So MM2K, how are you doing today, sir?
Fantastic. Play some Division. Oh my God. That's all I have to say right now.
We'll get to that because we'll be talking about what we're playing. And, Germani, how you been doing, friendo?
Been great, man. I've been playing some Rogue Company. Been loving the hell out of that one.
Attaboy. Chase, how's your Friday?
It's been good. I've got a little mixed drink over here. Got the proper going. I actually was just playing Rogue Company with 6-4. Such a great game. God damn it. I'm sorry. Such a great game.
Wow, that's quick.
That's how real it is, man. That's how real it is.
I hope you have a few pencils there, Brian.
I do. Meg, give us some clean language. How have you been today?
I'm doing great. Beautiful day here. And yeah, it's a good Friday.
Absolutely. And Eddie?
Relax, don't do it when you want to go do it.
Keep it going. Okay.
Relax, don't do it when you want to. I hope we don't get copyright strikes by my song.
I know.
We'd be on a nice little streak if we do. All right. So without further ado, let's just talk about what we've been playing since MM2K was kind enough to kind of give us a little hint. Division 2 has been on your plate lately, right?
Yeah, man. Really Monster Boy, and I felt less self-conscious because Eddie wasn't in my chat laughing at me like he was before. No. Monster Boy. Oh my God! Like I thought Octopath. Octopath of Godaways was it, man? I don't know. Monster Boy is a great game, but I went back to Division 2 after the patch update.
Yeah.
Well, after the update in the cloud. Let me get it right. And there's a slight drop in the resolution ever so slightly, but in return, you're getting better shadows and you're getting better button control response. I didn't realize that I needed that, but I guess I do. So kudos to Ubisoft. It was a fantastic experience.
Wow.
It's an amazing game, isn't it?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Germani, I think you kind of you've been playing, but what about Stadia? Well, we can get the Rogue Company later if we want. Have you been playing anything on Stadia this week?
Oh, man. You kind of broke up there for me for a second. I was like, huh? But yeah. No, I've been playing, of course, the game that you hadn't played yet. Is it Orcs Must Die 3 you hadn't played yet?
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. Play it now. But yeah. Definitely Rogue Company has definitely kind of swooped in and just captured me for a bit. So I'm having fun with that one, man. Yeah.
Well, that's good. How about you, Chase?
Damn, I got to think about this for a second. So last weekend, OMD3 played with 6-4. So we played a little bit of that. War Scenario is phenomenal, by the way. Such a cool mode and no screen tearing, no frame rate drops. I would have to say, since we've talked about what games run optimally on Stadia, I think that's one of the games that you have to put up there at the top along with the Division 2. It runs super well.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see just waves of orcs. Like you can literally look into the distance and it doesn't look like it's you know what I mean when it's computer generated and you just see like enemies coming out. It looks like they're actually coming out of the shadows. It's really cool. And then Rogue Company. It's a really good game. It reminds me of SOCOM mixed in with Siege, and it's simple. Like this is what like FPS and TPS games should be. Don't throw in all these kill streaks. Don't throw in all this extra stuff. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. Stadia, pick it up.
Meg, how about you?
I have actually been playing Red Dead Online. I got re-addicted. It is so much fun. And I just found out today In fact, everybody just found out today. I was a little bit slow on the uptake, but there is finally new content coming to that game on Tuesday. The new Outlaw Pass is coming, and there's going to be new roles and professions and stuff. So I will be continuing to play Red Dead Online. It is so good. It is such a fun game. It deserves to have the spotlight like shined on it again. So I'm excited for Tuesday now.
I feel like every other month you're like, I'm addicted to Red Dead again. You kind of go. You feel like you go through that cycle. Yeah, no.
It's a cycle for sure. Yeah, I lost my streak, and then I just couldn't face it, so I took like 6 weeks off. But now I'm back into it.
There you go. How about you, Eddie?
I would say I've been a little bit everywhere. I played The Division. I played Just Shapes and Beats. Awesome music game, but can be hard. It can be very hard. I play a little bit of Breakpoint with Meg, and then Meg was face planting while we were playing that. Do you remember Meg?
I heard about that.
Yeah, that was weird. Have they fixed that? There was like this weird thing where when you tried to lay down, it made you look like you were like on your face with your legs like in the air. Like it was messed up. So it was fun. It was funny though.
Yeah, it was funny to watch. And I've been playing, getting a little bit of early access, I would say, of oh my god, Dead by Daylight. I ended up finding out that I have that game on the PlayStation 4. So I decided to play on the PlayStation 4 to understand the mechanics of the game. And I can't wait until it arrives on Stadia.
Nice.
And I have been, along with MM2K, playing a little bit of Division when I get some time. It's just it's hard to put it down once you pick it back up. It's just, it plays so damn well, I think. But, I've barely had time to play it this week because, I have to sleep, unfortunately. But a lot of fun stuff coming this way because we just got a drop of new games. And this was kind of hinted at earlier in the week by the Stadia Cast crew. And we finally got the announcement today on Friday, which I guess they timed it so they didn't have to worry about, competing with the Xbox showcase. And we'll touch on that too. But other things we might touch on as well. We're probably going to go over our final Connect. Probably we will go over our final Connect thoughts. We're going to go over the blog post, obviously, that just went up today. Let me remove that little overlay here so I'm not blocking Eddie's awesome face. There we go. But here is the list of new games coming to the platform. We knew about Super Hot Mike. It's going to come to us because it was initially announced as going to be free for anyone that picked up Super Hot, but that's if you bought it. We're under the belief that you're going to have to repay for it on Stadia unless it's part of a pro game. But we also got Sniper Elite 4 coming to the platform, as well as Strange Brigade. Both are Rebellion titles. But the interesting thing here is under Strange Brigade, it says coming to players on August 1st. And that is a Saturday, if I am not mistaken. So I'm assuming that's going to be one of our next pro games, Strange Brigade. So MM2K, do you have any experience with Sniper Elite 4 or Strange Brigade?
Not me, not so much. I just the distant cousin, zombie army, shoot the zombie in the nads. I have more experience with that. But no, not that much experience with Sniper Elite. But for those that love those sniper type games, I know Sniper Elite is just heavily talked about and heavily favored and heavily appreciated. So it's a good game from what I understand.
Have you been able to play Mind Control Delete on another platform?
No.
Okay.
No.
Germani, what's your experience with any of these games?
No, I hadn't played the Mind Control Delete yet, but I played a bit of Sniper Elite. I think I have 3 or 4 on the Switch. I hadn't played a bunch of it, but the gameplay is great. The gameplay is very familiar to, like MM was saying, the zombie army in terms of like the visuals, the performance, and controls. But it's a great sniper game. If you're into that kind of gameplay and great map design, it's good. Yeah, real good progression too. I don't know anything about the other one though. I'm interested in that one.
How about you, Chase?
Sniper Elite's good. I mean, that franchise in general is just a great franchise. So I'm glad to see they're bringing one of those games to the platform. Super Hot's a good game, so I mean, I'm glad to see. We kind of already knew they were doing the DLC. This one I'm not as familiar with, though. I've heard a lot of people talk about positive things about this game
Mhm.
with Strange Brigade. So I'm curious to check it out.
Awesome stuff. How about you, Meg?
I'm not familiar with any of these games, so you guys will probably hate me. But so Super Hot is one of the few games that I haven't actually gotten around to playing yet. I don't know how it happens. I guess I'm just too busy on Red Dead. But yeah, so I haven't actually even checked that out yet. So I have to start with Super Hot, I guess, before I move on to Mind Control Delete.
Yeah.
Strange Brigade looks really fun. It kind of looks like Zombie War, but just kind of with more, I don't know, personality, I guess maybe I would say. So I think that one will be fun to play. And Sniper Elite, I don't know that franchise, but I never play as a sniper in any other game because I'm a horrible sniper. So I'm thinking, but I did read up about it, and there are a bunch of other guns. Like, I don't think you have to just be a sniper in that. So I will probably check that out. Is it anything like Battlefield? Because I loved Battlefield. I used to play a lot of that game.
No, it's not like Battlefield. No, it's a third-person game for sure. It's a bit more linear, I guess. As well.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see whether I get any of these.
Think of it like a third-person Call of Duty that's focused on sniper rifles. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't show the blood and gore one. How about you, Eddie?
So, Mind Control Delete, if I'm not wrong, was released last week, right? In multiple platforms. I haven't played that in other platforms. I just own Super Hot on Stadia. I loved playing Super Hot on Stadia. I didn't went through the end game stuff, but it could be a very interesting pick. Regarding the other two, I do have Sniper 4 or Sniper Elite 4 on my PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play much, maybe 3-4 hours. The good thing, Meg, as you're saying, you have a sniper, but you also have rifles, you have pistols, and it's like a World War II theme. So, cool. Yeah, the story is very cool, very cool. You're basically the scenarios on Italy are very interesting. It can be a very fun game to play. And Strange Brigade, I have never heard about that game before. I just watched the trailer. Looks cool because you have what's it called again? Special powers according to each character, according to the trailer. So I found that cool as well. Could be something cool if we get as a pro deal in August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
I have no experience with any of these games, so I'm not even going to bother commenting on them.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so it's not just me then, right?
Yeah, you're botting, Brian.
Okay. All right.
Yep. You might have to hop out and hop back in.
Brian, can you still hear us?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh no, it's we're in the middle of a super hot.
Brian's in the Matrix.
Captain is in a remote location. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
In the middle of a mission for this thing, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, can you guys hear me? Am I still
okay?
glitchy?
You sound clear.
You sound clear.
Good now.
That's not good. I don't know what is going on. We'll cut that out. Sorry, guys. That's I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, Comcast needs to get their stuff together. But so am I good? Clear? Look good?
Yeah,
okay,
you're good.
Okay. Okay. Can you see that comment right there on the screen?
Stadia.
No one plays. Stop giving SPS. Oh my!
Is that our Kai? Because it comes from a guy named Kai.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's a bit more optimistic than that.
And if I'm not wrong, the third title, it's not FPS.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right, moving on. Just wanted to ask that because I don't know if it's the same Kai or not. All right. So August Pro predictions, myself, Chase, MM, and Eddie, we did a quick little video on that. And then we discussed our predictions. And it looks like MM and Eddie might be onto something here as to being right away. They both pick an unannounced game, which is a little cheating, even though I've done that in the past myself. But Strange Brigade, well, I can't say it either. Strange Brigade was listed as coming on August 1st, which is next Saturday. So I'm leading myself to believe that's going to be a Stadia Pro game, which means that was an unannounced game. So congratulations, guys. But Eddie went with Series Sam 4 and 3 unannounced games. Is that right? Did you want to change that at all, Eddie?
Yes, I want to steal somebody's prediction. I don't remember who it was, but I'm going to change it to we're getting Celeste for free.
That was me. You thief. All right, I'll put that in as a maybe. I'm just kidding. Chase, you picked Series Sam 4, Baldur's Gate 3 beta, Gunsport, and Kona. You settled in on that?
Take Gunsport off. I think one unannounced. So it'll probably be the Strange Brigade, but just we can throw that in there. I'm comfortable with the other three. I think Kona, that already got a title, and I think that one's probably coming sooner rather than later. And I'm still sold that we're going to get Baldur's Gate early access as part of Pro. I think they're going to give us that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I know. I'm so excited.
MM2K went with Series Sam 4, an unannounced game, Baldur's Gate as well, and a game that was recently rated, Borderlands 2 or possibly the Handsome Jack collection. You want to stick with all those?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. That was MM2J. MM2K specifically said that Strange Brigade would be yeah. Yeah, I'll stick with that, and I'll take a oopsies. I'll take a winner oopsies with Strange Brigade being the game that I said was going to be an unknown game that was going to be a pro game. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the other choices.
Fair enough. Let's see, Germani. We haven't gotten your thoughts yet. What do you think is going to be the pro games for the month of August?
Well, obviously, Strange Brigade has to be added to the list. That's an advantage. A later predictor. Yeah, I got that. I'll go ahead and take Gunsport. I'll put Gunsport back in there.
Right.
And I do agree with Chase on the Baldur's Gate. Being something that come early access. I believe that. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'll throw in an unknown.
An unknown. All right. How about you, Meg?
So I think we're going to get, I agree, Strange Brigade probably, because what are the chances it's gonna come out on August 1st with a bunch of free games, but you have to pay for that one. So I think that one. I do think Gunsport is a good choice. I also think we may see Republic. Do you guys remember they announced that game?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to come out. I think Kona is another good guess, Chase. Like, I think we're going to see these kind of games that they have announced already that they haven't given us release dates for. I think they're now going to be like, surprise, kind of. Here you go. Here's your games for August. I think there will be 4. I think that's reasonable. I know I already said 4. One of those guesses is probably wrong, and there will be a game that they haven't announced at all.
All right. Fair enough. And then I went with kind of an amalgamation of myself and Chase. Series Sam 4, Gunsport, and Kona. I'm going to keep Gunsport and then Celeste. I'm not going to cheat and put Strange Brigade in there. That's not what cool people do. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Stop it. Stop it.
That's fired.
Yeah. All right. So next up is we got a little new APK up on the 9 to 5 Google. And what we got here is that Stadia 2.26 readies microphone support, lower quality for mobile data, family sharing. Now, our good friends over at Stadia Source as well as Gem Stadia are doing even deeper digging, and we should find out more from what they find. So follow those channels. And if one of you guys has, can someone put Stadia Source's website in the chat as well as Gem's YouTube channel if you can? I'm going to go ahead and read through this real quick. But microphone support is not something that is available through the actual app, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it's not, but it's not there. But that's apparently on its way. It should be not too far because, I mean, we've gotten some of these before and things have shown up not too long after. Play on mobile day is probably going to be the most interesting to a lot of people. I don't know how far along this might be. Chase, you want to touch on why you think mobile data may not be the best solution right now, as you kind of talking about earlier?
Yeah, there's been a couple articles out recently that as we move into the 5G space, at least as far as North America is concerned, and we're also seeing some of this over in other countries in Europe, that they are still going to have caps on how much data you can use before they throttle you. And what I mean by that is most plans right now, as far as US plans, you're looking at about 25 gigabits before they start to throttle you. In the UK, it's about 35 or 40. That's going to continue. That trend's not changing. Companies that made the promise that we were truly going to move to unlimited in 5G, no surprise, that's not going to happen. So the reason that that's a big deal is when you get throttled, at least on 4G LTE, it goes down to almost 756 kbps. That's not enough to run Stadia. You're going to blow through your mobile data like it's nothing using this thing, even at 480p, which is what we're hearing they're going to actually reduce down to, which would be about 2 to 3 gigs per hour. If you do the math, that's not a lot of time to play on mobile data. So I would say to pump the brakes on that. That's not, and when I say pump the brakes, I think people have an unrealistic expectation about this, that they think, oh, I have an unlimited plan. You don't, there's when I say very few, it's like 3 or 4% of the entire population, either because of a government job or something else, have a truly unlimited plan. So if you don't have that, this really doesn't benefit you. So again, I would say on that one, until we get to a place where it's a truly unlimited situation, I don't think it's advantageous, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Anyone else want to comment on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Chase brought this up yesterday on SSC podcast. Shameless plug. Definitely check it out after we're done here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had Chase in 6.4, and we were talking about this mobile portion because we did a study over at Broadband Bullies, and big ups to our other TSI partner, Eddie, for picking up the story as well, that there's a reason why right now in the retail market for cloud gaming, the retail market. What do I mean by that? GFN, Stadia, of course, and Shadow. Those are the cloud leaders right now. Amongst them, only 11% of cloud gamers prefer playing on their phones. And that's a big reason, because of data caps. And then if you look more in the realm of the stories that Chase was talking about, there's going to be a big halt to the spread of 5G because of what's going on with Hawaii and the whole fear of China. I don't want to get too far into that, but just read into that. So 5G is not going to spread as fast as maybe Google and Xbox were anticipating. So here in the States, or here in a lot of Western countries, you're not going to see 5G spread so rapidly. Maybe in other locales, maybe in Asia, India, Asia and India are the same thing, but in Asia and places like that, you may see it. But here in the here and now, no, it's not going to happen.
Perfect. Anyone else want to comment on the mobile data aspect of it? I highlighted a comment from Gem Stadia, said that he did find the code for the 480p section of it too.
Oh, cool.
So that it looks like it is very, very likely.
I do have one other thing, and MM told me I should mention this, so shout out to MM. Yesterday we were talking about, was it yesterday? Yes, it was. Yeah. Sorry, I've lost track of time, y'all. I don't even know what day it is anymore.
What year is it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a different century. So we were talking about how in North America and in Canada and the UK, we all culturally have grown up gaming on what? On a television. Yep. So a lot of the numbers that you see for Stadia in particular, folks are choosing to play on TV, and we're seeing, and I'm trying to kind of bring us back to the center on this. We're seeing this argument being made that, well, see, it's not that big of a deal. People are playing on their TV anyways. For us, that's what we're doing. In other countries across the world, in places like India and in China and in Korea, that isn't how they have grown up playing games. They've played games on either laptops or on mobile devices. And one thing that we're going to get into later that's on the show notes, but the ROG phone, that's a big deal. And you saw a lot of praise in other countries for that phone because they treat that phone like it's their PC. Like that's a high-end PC to a lot of people. Yep. So I think we kind of have to look at, our use case might be television, but in other countries, the mobile market's going to be huge. And that's where this is going to be really tricky for all companies, not just Google, of how are things going to be? Is 5G going to eventually take off? Is Starlink, which is the satellite internet that Elon Musk is doing, is that going to come in and help out? Who knows?
Yes.
Shout out to Elon Musk.
Shout out
Please, Elon.
Please.
Save us.
He is a regular viewer of the Stadia
Yeah.
Initiative.
Yeah.
So
He's in
Elon, give me a call. We'll put you on the show next week.
Shout out, Elon.
Moving on. Family sharing has been a very anticipated feature for a lot of people. I'm not trying to steal what 95 Google said, but it's really been very anticipated for a lot of people because a lot of people have families that game. It's not a problem for me personally, but multiple people in certain households do one and that. They don't want to spend $60 on a game twice. So this is a good way to share it with amongst your family. So like if you had like a hard copy of a game, you just like put it in your system. It's that easy. So family sharing, does this apply to any of you guys in any way?
Oh, well, yeah, for me, yeah, because my wife, she won't necessarily invest in the games right away, but she likes to try them out, and and then that's something we could definitely take advantage of because we can't do that on the Switch, with hard copy so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's interested in Stadia, and that would be a great feature. We would definitely take advantage of.
Absolutely. And this is something that I know Jen has been able to find some pretty deep hints about already in terms of like finding certain icons within the coding of Stadia's official source code. And it looks like it might have the ability to share with up to 6 people. So, I mean, that's a pretty big number right there. As far as I'm aware, you won't be able to like say if, Mike, I had a kid or something, and we wanted to both play not Destiny, that's a bad example. We both wanted to play NBA 2K, for instance. We both can't do it at the same time, I believe, is the way this is worded. I mean, have you guys seen it any other way, or do you think we both could play at the same time?
I haven't seen any other family sharing, yeah.
So it's a good way to be able to share purchases. And it's been very anticipated. So I know, like I said, if you haven't already followed Jem's YouTube channel, because he does a lot of this kind of stuff, unearthing APKs and just finding stuff within source code. So he's a very good follow with that kind of information. It's spoiler alert. So if you want to be surprised, don't go over there, but go over there. All right, go support him. He's doing good stuff over there. But next up on the item list is Stadia Source had an interview with an anonymous AAA developer. Did you guys have a chance to check this out?
Yeah, yep, sure did.
A little bit, yeah.
Any initial thoughts, impressions you guys wanted to share before we kind of thumb through?
I mean, yeah, I thought it was an interesting article where I felt like that the developer was trying to say, Stadia, don't ruin this. That's the feel that I got from you guys got something powerful. Yeah. Get your messaging together. And there's a couple of things that I don't like. Like I don't like, which I wish, me just reading, and I know there were restraints, but, I would have liked to have seen more plug back into what they meant by this, but they were talking about the restraints of only using keyboard and mouse versus controller and why that limited split screen on a particular game. Mm-hmm. But stuff like that just makes you wonder what they were talking about. But in general, that's the tone of the interview that I got.
Yeah. Anyone else have any initial takes? Chase?
I've been saying a lot of these things from day one, and listen, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm just I've always tried to keep things down the middle with this platform, and I've tried to be authentic with people, and I've tried to come at things from the lens of PR and marketing and business. And I've been told multiple times, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, and all this stuff. And you're hearing from developers. Folks, these are the folks that look at who is buying their games, who's invested in their games, who's actually looking at the demographic of their game, right? And this is what they're saying back. And I think, again, my statement to our community is we've got to get out of this bubble that we're in, and we've got to start looking at what's going on around us. And that's not to say don't enjoy your games. That's not to say don't enjoy what is your use case for the platform. But if you want this thing to grow, you've got to be willing to say when something's not good, ask for better. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like if you got your car and the engine failed, you're not going to go to get on the internet and say, well, Ford's great, but my car doesn't work. You're going to go down to Ford and you're going to want the engine repaired. So you've got to be able to be, what's the right word? Germani said this so well the other day, man. I wish, man, people would clip that you said, because it was such a great statement. There's a difference between being a fanboy and being a fan. A fan is somebody that loves a platform or a system, but is willing to hold a platform accountable. A fanboy is someone that will prop a platform up no matter what its faults, no matter what. And I think that's what we got to be very careful of here. And we've got to recognize some of the signs that we're seeing. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to, again, keep it honest and just trying to say, look, if we want this thing to be great, and I want it to be great, I love this platform. Let's ask for better. That's all. That's all it is.
That's a fair point. I thought, I think, was it UMM2K that brought up the PC versus keyboard and controller?
That part I was confused on. I'm not sure if anyone else had like a better understanding of what was meant there.
So, I mean, the idea here, I mean, at least the Borderlands comment is because it's the PC port, you can't do split screen. With the console port, I believe you can. So I think that was their initial issue about that. But this is good for gamers. Like, I don't see why I can see why, because it's just extra work for them to do. But this is interesting. Do you guys have any initial thoughts on who this AAA developer might be?
Oh yeah, I do. I definitely do.
Do you have inside information, or you just have a good guess?
No.
If you have inside information, don't spoil it.
No inside information. And being that we're asked a question, I mean, I think it's written all over the wall. Maybe someone from Stadia stores can say, "Yep, cold or hot." No, they can't do that. But I think it's somebody that developed Borderlands 2 or Borderlands. This has someone with the lingo stylistics of Randy Pitchford, or somebody that works for him written all over it. And the fact that they were that knowledgeable of the whole split screen situation with Borderlands 2 doesn't mean it had to be a Borderlands developer, but I wasn't even aware of that. And that is my most played game on Stadia. So I just feel that it's a Borderlands developer that said that. And the people that work at Gearbox are known to be very candid. That's what I meant by dialogue stylistics. They're very candid. They ripped Phil Spencer holes in 3 seconds flat after certain tweets that they didn't like. They don't hold back, and they probably just said, for the sake of our partnership, don't mention our names, but we're gonna give it to them raw. So that's my guess.
The only possible issue I have with that theory is, unless I'm reading this part wrong, can't tell you much about who they are, but what we can say is their games have not been announced yet. So is this even a developer that's on Stadia yet?
That's it. And I did see that. And I'm thinking, is it a Gearbox game that this particular developer has come in for? I don't know. But no, that's a very good point. I did see that part, though.
Yeah. This is a very good interview. I'll drop this in the chat because I have not updated the actual description because, bad planning on my part. But check that interview out. Of course, Data Source has been ramping up their activity doing these kinds of things. So definitely check them out if you haven't already. They are Chase, what are they? The number one source for your...
Yeah. Check out StadiaSource.com. Stadia Source is your number one destination for news and information regarding Google Stadia. Check out StadiaSource.com.
Thank you, pal. All right. If you have drinks, drink them because that's a bingo. All right. Chase, keeping up with you talking. There's an interesting article about a new game coming from our friends over at Splash Damage. And this was kind of a sensitive subject for me and Germani during the Connect a couple weeks ago. But time heals all wounds for me, at least. It seems like a game that I can possibly get behind. But Chase, do you want to touch on what this article is all about? And yeah, go ahead.
I think there's a couple things before I touch on the quote in here, because I think there's an important quote that's going to shed some light on what Stadia's vision is. And I want to be very clear. I'm not talking about the AAA games that are coming from third-party publishers, but their first and second party vision for this platform is what's going to drive and have the hook to pull people into the platform. So games like Orcs Must Die that they helped put cash towards, right? Games that are coming up like, of course, this one, Outcasters. Yeah. So that's an important thing because those exclusives, they do matter. It does get the attention of people. It does pull people into platforms. So, there's a quote in here. Let me read it in its entirety. It's a little bit further down, Brian. It starts with currently. So currently only announced for Stadia, Outcasters is a third-person competitive online shooter with a less gritty aesthetic than the studio is used to, and a new bullet-curving gameplay hook that Stadia Games Entertainment senior producer Nico Zetler says makes it an ideal match for the platform. Now, very important here in the context of this statement. This is not Splash Damage talking, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stadia talking about what their vision is of this game and how it aligns with where they believe this platform is going. And here's the quote. It's basically a model of what makes Stadia exciting. It's very approachable. That's important. That's the key quote out of this. If you think about the visual design and gameplay, which of course is often what you're looking for as a publisher and a platform, there's this huge customization part, which everybody is really interested in, that helps you to express yourself. And another reason is it's highly watchable. Of course, we're tied into YouTube, so it's a perfect match made in heaven for us. Outcasters aesthetic in particular is an important part of Splash Damage's push to reach new audiences. 6-4 made a good point, Germani, that I think you can make – look, there's an argument to be made that some of these games, if it's in the vein of like what Switch has done with Nintendo, where if they provide a game that aesthetically might be more family-friendly, right, but has deep gameplay later on within the game, it can be successful. But if Stadia is just chasing a trend, if they're just going after games that look family-friendly and it's not a deep game, they are seriously going to hit some roadblocks, I think. And I wanted to point out on this because we've heard a lot of what I would say statements, or that people said, well, we really don't know what Stadia's vision is, or they're not really just focusing on the hyper-casual audience. This article right here tells you what their vision is. They are focusing on that demographic. They're trying to pull in a casual audience with these first and second party studio games, and then sprinkle in some AAA games like Sekiro and Borderlands and everything else in there as well. But their first party and second party vision is very important to tell you what they think about this platform. So I thought it was very interesting, and I think it tells us something that we all kind of have to be, in my opinion, we all have to be very aware of now, that I think Stadia views this as a platform that they want to, again, try to sell to a more casual player, and then sprinkle in other games that might attract other potential players. But I don't think that's their primary focus. Hopefully that makes sense. I know that was long-winded, but I was trying to kind of back it up with the quotes from the article. So,
but yeah, I mean, I'll just start off saying, like, I was kind of taken aback this being Splash Damage's game because, just like a lot of people, I was expecting something not that, but it can be appealing. I get the idea of tying it to YouTube and how that could be a very big IP for them, because it seems like a game that people can just jump into, and it's kind of like that party aesthetic to it as well. But moreover than that is the idea of who they're marketing this to. And they've always said from the beginning, and I think a lot of us are kind of forgetting about it, is that they're trying to sell this to a billion gamers. And what we know is that you don't have a billion PS4s out there. You don't have a billion Xbox Ones. You don't have a billion Switches. Probably don't have a billion gaming PCs, but you take everyone that plays a game on a mobile phone. That's a lot more people, right? So a lot of people do own a phone, probably near a billion, if not more. And when you think about that, you got to have games like this that do appeal to that much, much broader audience that Google is trying to reach. And they've said from day one, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to reach that. So, Eddie, did you have immediate thoughts on the Outcasters piece and what Chase was sharing with us?
So from the article, yes, I run a small different opinion than Chase, which is the guy from Stadia who was commenting on the article. He was praising the game that it was about to launch, but not necessarily that's going to be the vision for the whole company, for the whole exclusive titles that's going to be developed with them. For example, if we take what's the name of the studio of Until Dawn again?
Oh, I knew this because I looked it up.
That was announced.
Supermassive.
Thank you.
Until Dawn?
Yes. Supermassive Games. Yes.
Supermassive Games
you're right.
is going to be making an exclusive title for Stadia. So when that game arrives on Stadia, and they say, this title is a great experience that we're loving, we cannot say that the whole platform is shifting towards something just because of one title. But according to what you were saying as well, they are trying to get the gamers on the phones. So, but gamers on phones play different titles. They play family-friend titles as they play Call of Duty Mobile. So,
and I mean,
we gotta wait.
Yeah, we can't have the idea that like a platform just going to have a singular genre either. Because I mean, look at Nintendo; it's very kid-friendly typically. But you have games like Doom on there. You have games like Bayonetta. You have games like what else we got on there? Give me a mature. Yeah, so that's family friendly. I was thinking of the
what was the I was just about to think of the mature. No. I'm personally talking more first and second party games. So you said Bayonetta, which was a good one. Of course, the Metroid series is more a mature game.
Yep.
But what was the game that had you working around your fear? I forget the name of that game. It was made by Silicon Knights. It was a second party game on the GameCube.
Working on here.
Somebody help me out in the chat on that one. But there's several different games speaking in there, like what was it? I think it was called Madhouse, another game.
Eternal Darkness is what you're talking about. Yeah.
Eternal Darkness. Very story driven, very mature. You know what I mean? It's in its approach. Visually as well. You know, at the time the graphics were top tier. Yeah. You know, so they'll have those. So they're not forgetting that audience, but again, it is very important for them to be able to reach everyone and bring a core game that can be appreciated, you know, for generations moving forward.
Absolutely. Meg, go ahead, Chase.
No.
If you have something to add on that, go ahead.
No, I just was going to say it, but I think it comes down to whether it's going to be a core game. But I had something else to add, but I don't want to take away from Meg. I want to give her an opportunity.
All right. Meg, any thoughts on the Outcasters?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because on that same article, there is a quote there from a rep from Splash Damage, the co-founder and CEO Jolly, and he says there that they're a studio that's growing up and they want to hit a broader audience now because they realize that they were kind of just doing the same traditional FPSs all the time. Yep. And he's saying that they're trying to broaden and experiment things as well. So I think that Stadia is working with them to make a game that they're both envisioning. Like Splash Damage wanted to branch out and Stadia is like, well, yeah, we also want to have a game that is, reaches a broader audience. And I think that that's what they've done with this game. I don't think that necessarily is to say that the entire platform is going to be like that now. Right. I think they found a developer who has goals that are aligning with the kind of game that they wanted to make. And so they teamed up together. But I don't think that means that like we're going to see all Stadia's games be in a similar vein to this. And I think it's interesting that they say, oh, it works perfectly because we're tied in with YouTube. So I'm really excited to see what a kind of game like this that, maybe wouldn't take as long to develop as like a AAA title, the kind of things that they can tie into this that's going to showcase those Stadia only features. Like, well, we get crowd play and crowd choice and all of that built into a game from the ground up. I think that's really cool.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
MM2K.
Yeah. Pull out the scrolls for this one. So okay, so I agree with Chase that if you center your platform around one demographic without diversity, you're going to run into a pitfall, and especially one where it was originally touted on tech to now all of a sudden have groundeds running all over the place. You're asking for disaster. With that said, I agree with Eddie that I don't think that this is indicative of that. Here's why. Here's what we got to remember. First and foremost, when this thing launched, it was a hardcore gamers manifest. Everything was hardcore. It was to the point to where people were like, hold on, I can't play none of this stuff with my kids. And Stadia was like, yeah, right. Okay, here you go. So they start throwing out some games that were more family friendly, but they still were driving in the hardcore stuff. Tequila Works told us Google lives and dies off of data. So here comes April. This is what we got to remember. April comes. They release it to the public in April. Right. We're still under the impression because from November to April, we've just seen this hardcore push left and right. We don't know if Google started to see, hey, since we released this to the public, we're seeing a lot more family friendly and casuals type games take centerfold. We don't know what's doing what for what game or what platform. Right. So maybe they're making a slight pivot And you got to also take into consideration too, they were going to go hard with the hardcore stuff. They had Doom launching in 2019 originally. Marvel was coming. Cyberpunk was coming. Uplay Plus was supposed to be at the beginning of the year. And then all that fell apart. The hardcore support let them down. And then remember too, you had the Business Insider article, which was a farce. They said, "Oh, Google Stadia is not doing anything for the casuals. They're throwing the developers' babies into volcanoes, and imps are falling from the sky." And so then Google started this program, and now you had Digital Trends that came out with an article that said this indie project is now working for everybody. So I think this might be a pivot to be more diverse. But I don't know. I'm not sold yet that they're pivoting solely to the Outcasters type of game. I know it may have been a disappointment for many that the Splash Damage game looked like this, but I beckon you this. This is still the early development stage. This is data collection. Jack Buser came out and said it. They're going to try different things where they might pivot a little bit more to the left here, pivot a little bit more to the right. But I still think, to what Phil Harrison said a while ago, this is a platform for both hardcore gamers and tech enthusiasts and for the casual gamer. I think they still want to do both, but at times they may pivot more to the left and to the right. Those are just my thoughts.
Fair enough. Any thoughts on that, guys?
No, I think that's a good centered, thought on it right there.
Yeah. And then quick to go around the room. Will you guys be picking up Outcasters if it's not a pro game? MM2K, we'll start with you.
I'm picking it up because it's splash damage. So
thank you, Jamani. Save me. I'll go last.
I'm picking it up. It's splash damage, man. I think they're gonna bring something special, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
Is there a breaking point in terms of pricing, or will you spend $60 on this?
No, $30 max.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chase, how about you? Oh, hold on, Meg. What was that face all about?
She was like, $30.
What? Well, it was the 60. I was just imagine that game for $60.
Yeah.
That's all.
I mean, I fully expect this to be a pro title, but
me too. Yeah.
Chase, how about you?
I mean, if it's pro, I absolutely will pick it up. I had some other thoughts, but I just want to wait. I'll wait to the very. I just want to add one thing in, but that's it.
Okay, Meg.
Okay, so probably no, I would not pay to buy it. But if all of you guys have it and you're all playing it and you're having fun, then I'm gonna be having that fear of missing out. So then I probably would. So just me personally, alone by myself, no. But if everybody has it, I want to play too. So then I would. But I would not pay $60. Oh my God. I would need to see a little bit more to decide where my price range is for that. But I think it'll be a pro game, to be honest. I can't imagine it would not be pro.
For those who it wouldn't be, they wouldn't be pro members,
What
do you think the price would be?
Good point.
Yeah,
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to know a little bit more about it. I can't say. Are there levels? How many maps are there? What kind of character customization is there? Is there a PvE part, or is it only multiplayer? I have so many questions.
You'll get answers. You'll get answers in time.
All right, Eddie, you cannot pass. What is your?
If it is up to $40, I'll buy it.
Okay.
And it will be a pro title, probably not at launch. I would say it would be. At this point, I believe every single title that is exclusive to Stadia at some point will become a pro title, but not necessarily all the titles will be a launch title. Especially thinking that on fall, there's going to be so many games coming out, and that game's coming out on fall as well. So I still think it's not coming as a pro title at launch.
Fair enough. MM2K, you're now up.
This won't. You won't need the scrolls for this. No, it's going to be a pro title. They're competing with Xbox. Xbox is putting stuff in Game Pass. They think that they may possibly have a better growing value in the pro thing until they can get a library to do a Game Pass. At $10, you get to keep your game instead of it being in a rotating list. So it's going to be a pro game.
I am with you on what? What's up?
Nah, he stole my point. That's exactly what I was going to say. Let me just say it here because he's already said it. I think one of the things, again, out of this article and what I was trying to hit on, and I don't know that I did a good job, and maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but ideal match and basically a model. Those are really important terms in this. And I think what they're getting at is they're trying to offer games that they can throw in this pro subscription that are the exclusives. And if that's the case, they are going to be more what I would call budget-friendly titles. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be great games. Like Germani said, if they have deep core elements in the game, there's nothing wrong. I can't argue that. Aesthetics aren't everything. My concern is that they could be chasing trends. And I'm just trying to say until we see, like with what is the name of the studio that does the horror games? Supermassive. They also were a producer on Little Big Planet. That doesn't mean that Little Big Planet isn't a great title, but you have to be very careful that you don't know what type of game they're developing. Yeah. So I think we just have to, what I was trying to, and I didn't end with this, but we have to see what time shows. Time's going to tell us everything about what their strategy is, because I think this article gives us an early glimpse, and we'll see if that trend continues. That was just my point. So
fair.
Yeah, I think they're going to kind of go the Xbox route in terms of how this game ends up on Pro or not, because I think because there's obviously a financial investment. I'm pretty sure they probably said, hey, Splash Damage, we're going to give you some money. Can you help us bring a game to our platform? And I think part of that deal is going to be it coming to Pro, and I could absolutely see it being a launch title. I don't know someone said something about Orcs Must Die being Stadia Gamer 201 said it. I think it's going to have a similar effect to that. And I've said Gunsport's going to be pro for the exact same reason. So I believe we're going to see it launch as a pro title. I think $20 is my most I will spend on it personally. But and that, again, kind of like what Meg said, if you guys are playing it, then yeah, maybe. But I mean, that's not a game I'm going to play by myself or just match make on. So moving on, Ubisoft had their earnings call. Ubisoft's been in the news a little bit lately with their Ubisoft Forward. Did someone, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they announce they're going to have another Forward event in September? Or did I see that wrong?
No, you're right.
I don't think they give a date.
A date, or just
they said
they gave a month.
They said Q3 was when they were expecting to kind of do another event. So that would mean it has to happen no later than September.
Gotcha. So they just had their earnings call, and every time they have an earnings call, they usually have a list of what is to be expected on the platforms that they do support. And our good friend Duncan over at Cloudy with a Chance of Games noted that Uno is now listed as a future title for Google Stadia. Uno is pretty much on literally every platform, so this is not really a surprising move. And with them trying to build up a future Uplay Plus library, this absolutely makes sense. Another thing they kind of found out here is that Hyperscape, which has been a game that a lot of people have been playing on other platforms, is not currently listed as a future Stadia title. But of course, this isn't like a end-all be-all of all things, because take a look at like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is a Stadia title. This isn't listed on here. Rainbow Six Siege has been initially believed to come to Stadia as well. And then, so this is a list of what's coming. Uno, is this a game that you guys are interested in picking up?
I mean, I could just buy it. Well, I mean, that'd be cool to play online, I guess, with people. But Uno is so easily available. I'm good.
Yeah. So I mean, $10 is probably going to see us launch at.
That'll be. Shit.
Chase, Uno, is that
20?
Yeah, Chase.
Sorry, the lawn guy showed up. I didn't realize that was going to be happening today.
Fine.
So ask your question again, because I was trying to get my mic muted so it didn't destroy the podcast.
Is Uno on your tracking to pick up if it shows up on Stadia anytime soon?
As far as purchasing, no, but that I hate saying that because we haven't seen a whole lot of Ubisoft games necessarily become pro, but because Monopoly didn't, right? So yeah, it's probably going to be for purchase.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, I hope they don't. What did Monopoly start out at? Wasn't it like 20 something?
I want to say it's like almost 40, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
Jesus.
stupid high.
It was
But
expensive.
but Uno's like actual pricing, I believe, on like Switch, for instance, is only like $10. So
Okay,
it's going to be far more palatable than Monopoly, especially at least on Stadia. And I don't want to get too far off topic, but Monopoly is very kind of bare bones on Stadia.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Meg, is Uno a game that you're interested in at all?
No, I'm not a big fan of like tabletop games being turned into video games.
Yeah.
Monopoly was fun, but then it showed your guys' true colors, and now I wish I'd never experienced it. Eddie, I'm looking at you. So I don't know what would happen with
For the
Uno.
record.
The TSI would fall apart. So I don't know.
For the record, I was your friend, and I tried to make sure you were okay, and then I did have to turn on you only because Eddie was always out to get you. I just want that to be known.
He would do anything to win. No, he'll do anything to win. So Uno, I don't know. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, card games can break up families and friends.
Yeah, I played Risk with my brother, and I swore I'd never play Risk again because he betrayed me. We had a truce, and I ended up like bottlenecked with no way out, and he turned on me as soon as I moved my soldiers away, and I lost my mind. Anyways, I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. Totally over it.
Fair enough. Eddie.
No, she's not totally over it.
I'm not.
Eddie, anything about the Ubisoft earnings call you wanted to touch on outside of Uno and Hyperscape?
Yeah, so basically, I'm passing on buying Uno as well. Not that interested. But the only thing I highlight here is that not everything that it's released here means it is, of course, written on stone for any platform. Although, especially talking about Hyperscape, because I was very enthusiastic with that game, I don't think it's coming to Stadia at the moment because free to play. And we can have the discussion at some other time.
Fair enough. MM2K, how about you? Oh, go ahead, Chase. Sorry.
Well, Ghost Recon doesn't have a Stadia update on there, which was interesting.
And by the way, that update is coming to Stadia because they already said on Twitter it was a little bit delayed, but it was coming to Stadia as well.
What update is that?
The Ghost Recon Breakpoint update.
Eddie, why do you think that? And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but why the hell did that not? Sorry, why the hell did that not? I did it again. Why didn't that get?
I did it again.
Why didn't
Why
they?
the F?
Yeah, why? We always believe that Ubisoft and Google have such a good relationship. How do you not include that? Like, I don't understand.
Google.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Eddie. I just Google. This is where I'm trying to parse this stuff down the middle. I think that we got to recognize that they are in a data collection phase and right and wrong, and they're just trying different things and throwing different things at the wall. And I think that they're making decent progress at that. But at the same time, they're playing scared money right now when it comes to information. And I think I don't believe right now from what we've seen the last 7-8 months, or however long we're in, I don't believe that this is all the developers that are holding this stuff in. Developers like to get their stuff out so people know, hey, I'm set aside $15, $20 to buy my stuff. Google is like, no, don't say anything. Shut up. This is all Google.
Shut up. All right, moving on. Asus has launched or will be launching their newest Republic of Gamers phone, known as the ROG3. And this is something we knew about a few months back, but now we're coming to the fruits of their labor. And the big piece out of it is that it's going to be including 3 months of Stadia Pro. I reached out to wasn't Android Police. I got to actually double check my math here. I reached out to an author of one of the articles discussing it, and it might have been a 9 to 5 Google. And I was trying to get clarification on if it's going to be for new users or can any current user use it, and he said they weren't given specific information on it, so that's still kind of up in the air. But Was there Eddie? Was there anything specifically you wanted to talk about with the partnership with Asus?
It was a very interesting approach because Samsung announced a very brand new phone as well with partnership with Microsoft and xCloud. So, but that phone is specifically, it's known for being the most powerful phone for gamers. So it's a very fun game. Not fun game. What I'm trying to say, it's the very interesting new approach that they are taking on this partnership with mobile devices.
All right, everyone's muted me because I can't stop laughing because they thought I said something else. Germani, what are your thoughts on Asus partnering with Google when it comes to their new phones? Kind of like, as Eddie kind of mentioned, kind of like competing with Samsung and Microsoft's partnership.
I think it's a good billboard for Stadia, seeing as it's seen as a top tier, or what do you say, high end PC for a lot of people in these other countries that they're racing to get towards first. So their brand will be associated with the phone model that everybody's after, and it's obvious. I mean, Samsung is known amongst the general public as like the better quality phones out there for Android, but Asus, when it comes to gaming, is known as the best of gaming possibilities in this space. So Stadia being associated with them is a better look for them, overall. When you're trying to attract gamers to your service or your product. So I think it's a great move. It was excellent.
Absolutely.
Can I say something about that real quick? Everybody thinks that this Samsung xCloud. I'm not trying to just be Debbie Downer on Xbox, but everybody thinks that this Samsung Xbox deal is going to be so massive. For some reason, when people partner with Samsung, it kind of fizzles. Like, remember Sony partnered with Samsung on their earlier streaming efforts with PlayStation. Everybody that partners with Samsung, I don't know, that it's just the partnerships don't seem strong and they never really go anywhere. You know what I mean? So kudos to Google for this one, because it's purely based on games, and it like to Chase's point, this could be real big in the Asian markets and other places where mobile is the predominant way to play cloud gaming. So we'll see.
Chase?
Repeat the question again. the proper's hidden. Sorry. Oh, did we lose Brian?
Are we back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay. It's a good thing I'm also recording this in the background on OBS, so we shouldn't have too many problems with the.
Awesome.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
Chase, let me repeat again. What do you think on the Asus Google partnership?
I think it's smart. God, I knew that's what was asked. I'm sorry, y'all. It's woo. It's great. I again, that phone is the top of the line, like, phone in regards to, like, if you're looking at like a handheld PC, the specs that it has, what it can do, it's crazy. So I think it's a smart move by Google. And I actually agree with 100% about the Samsung statement. I don't know what it is with Samsung. I don't know if it's they make these deals and of course it's about the money, right? But it just seems like they don't get behind things like some of these other companies do. It's not like you know what it is? There it is. It just came into the thought is it's not life or death for them. Like they're already going to sell their phones. They don't care whether or not their bundled thing lives or dies. It doesn't matter to them. Yeah. Now for ROG, what is that? That's a gaming device that it's dependent upon having good games or the ability to play good games. That's a whole different line. Like, Samsung's not focused on that type of stuff. Yeah, you can game on a Samsung phone, but that's not its primary purpose. So I think that's why, to be honest. It's just two different mindsets. One's about just get it out to everybody and anybody and just make money, versus ROG, who's like, look, we have to cater to the gaming demographic. That is our core audience. So I think that's the difference.
Perfect. Any last thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, it sounds like the Walmart approach. You know what I mean? It's kind of just out there. And that's kind of honestly what xCloud is right now. It's kind of like the lower budget, offering. So that's it.
I think it's great. ROG, Republic of Gamers. Yeah, that's who Stadia needs to pair up with. And we all know Samsung is the worst. So yeah, just get rid of here. Just get rid of it.
Damn.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, guys.
I gotta Google it.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
At least he's stuck in a good frame.
Yeah, he looks
He looks
good. He looks really
concerned, though.
intense.
Yeah.
Something serious to say,
Captain
Eddie.
Roger Troutman would be proud of Brian right now.
You just got an update on a mission objective.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shit.
Oh no!
Oh, we
We lost Cap. Ah!
What are we gonna do now?
Eddie,
We can't
Eddie, you're in
handle
charge.
ourselves.
It's not.
No.
It's
It's
not-
the first. Who's the first name appearing?
Are we good?
You're back.
Thank you.
Oh, don't
Yes,
abandon
things
us
were about
again.
to turn.
We're like,
Things were about to turn left. Eddie was going to put me in charge, so we were going to lose.
So this is the last time we're using StreamYard. We will be moving on to other avenues. Hopefully, you guys.
Uh-oh.
It's not StreamYard, brother.
Oh. All right, we good?
Yes.
yeah, we're good.
I'm blaming them.
Turn
I
off
have
the-
to blame someone, and I'm not going to blame myself. I'm sorry.
It's,
All
it's
right, move it.
Comcast. It's all Comcast.
Yeah, that's
It's those torrents, Brian. Turn off those torrents.
I think it's the
Yeah.
Cub.
I don't
hat.
have
I
BitTorrent
know.
on my
It's-
computer.
It's the Cub gear, bro. They don't like it too much.
Call it.
And for
Just saying,
validation,
bro. Just saying. You got to switch your team up, bro. You got to switch your team up.
Uh-oh.
Oh my
We're gonna wait on
god.
him. We're gonna wait on him. I think he went full X-Bot on us, man.
Yeah, he sure did.
It's that
Don't
time of
bring-
night though for internet issues, like in certain
Yeah.
regions. It's just everyone's on. It's a Friday too. Everyone's probably at home watching stuff. So
Yeah,
We back?
you are back.
he back.
There's going to be a lot of editing to this one. All right. We good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? You don't want to start until
Let's talk about the Connect.
All right.
Okay, now I know you guys can hear me because of all your guys' reactions.
Yeah.
You're talking right in you.
All right, Eddie, I'm going to start with you. How has your opinion? What?
About the Connect for real?
Yeah. What
Okay.
do you mean? What do you mean for real?
I thought I were joking.
No,
Let's
You
talk about
see in
the
the
Connect.
show notes?
Someone didn't do the readings, and it shows. No,
I think Eddie was having a connection error.
Look, I
All
have an
over it.
hey. Look, I have an excuse. I have alcohol. You have none.
He was having connection issues himself. You know?
Up here.
Oh, all right. Yeah, my bad.
There you go. Okay.
I'm there.
The reason I'm asking is we're about 10 days removed from the Connect. Has your opinion on what we saw on the 14th changed at all, or where do you sit with the Connect and how it stands?
You know the end of the series Lost,
Yes.
the show series?
Yes.
So yeah, I am the same thing as I was in Lost with the Connect, which means I am in peace with what was presented. Was it the best? No.
Mhm.
But I learned to accept. So
And move on. Yep.
and move on. So that's basically what I did with the Connect. I accept the final presentation. It wasn't that bad, and I'm gonna even save it for the last topic if we have time regarding the Xbox show. But at this point, I understand that the Connect it could be better. Yes, even if we are thinking on where it was presented.
Mhm.
But I'm in peace with the end of the Connect.
Okay. So follow-up question, and you don't have to expound on it. Who had the better showcase, Xbox or Stadia?
I would say Xbox.
Okay. Meg, what are your feelings on the Connect since it happened?
I feel better about it now. I do think we overhyped ourselves a little bit. I mean, they announced some things. I think there were some exciting things in there. I think that the Outcasters was a big surprise, given just the kind of games we were expecting to then see that. And someone in chat was like, I saw your faces and it looked like a funeral when that game was announced. And so, like, I think we were just kind of taken aback. But then, yeah, seeing really positive responses from people, seeing the media have really positive responses, I think it was good overall. But it was a little bit rocky. And I do agree with Eddie that, like, it did take some like acceptance in my heart. So I feel like the same thing is going to happen, at least for me, for the next one, because all of the big things they did not announce on this one, I'm now just expecting to be on the next one. So I think it's just going to be a roller coaster. When there's something so new that you care so much about, you're always going to want to hear the most amazing things every time. And I think it was better than the Xbox event. I fell asleep during that Xbox event. Sorry. And none of those games were like,
let's be real.
I slept through the Fable announcement. I had to look it up later. Somebody messaged me, was like, you missed the Fable. I was like, oh my God. I was really expecting something really like visually, like the Halo. I was like, this looks like I feel like I've played Halo already. I've already played that. It just looked the same. I really wanted something to really wow me. And I was pretty disappointed with that. Although all those games are going to be on Game Pass, I heard, if that's true, in which case that is pretty exciting. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Chase.
I mean, I'm at peace with it. I'm fine with what they did. I understand now what audience they were talking to. I think it was the wrong venue. So it's like going into a venue where it's hardcore, mid-core gamers, but you're delivering a message to casual gamers. The tone wasn't correct for that audience because that is an E3 style event, and 3/4 of the population watching are that demographic, to be fair. That said, we now know what, again, I think we kind of have a better idea of what Google's footprint is right now and what they're trying to focus on. So for me, I'm at peace with it. You know, we'll see what they do going forward. I would say just have low expectations going forward. Don't expect anything. That's kind of the place that they're at. And if they don't want to feel like that, then they've got to maybe change some things up, but that's on them. That's not on us. And then you asked, what did you think of it versus Xbox? You know, I know these were a lot of older games on the Kinect, but man, you know, you would think that a company like Microsoft would have listened to the outcry of the consumer marketplace saying, show us freaking gameplay. And what do? They just start showing you CGI freaking cutscenes and trailers. And I get that some of that's needed to hype games up, but we're moving in a much different, like the 10 years ago, that was acceptable and consumers were cool with that. They're not cool with, like, if you look at the outcry on Twitter, 3/4 of the comments were show us gameplay. They got to start listening to their consumers, man, because they're not listening to them. That was really a bad move on their part. After they already pulled that foolishness with Assassin's Creed, and then they do it again. I'm just saying, I don't think that was smart by them. They pissed a lot of people off in that regard. So I think that, quite honestly, looking at this event versus the Kinect don't look too bad after you look at it from that lens. I mean, I got to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. Germani.
You done shook M.M. White. He didn't win Ghost on.
Oh, dang, yeah. Oh.
White.
He's like, I'm out. I'm done, y'all.
My Xbox.
His soul left his body.
I'm telling you.
Germani, you hosted a live watch party for the showcase. What were your thoughts for people that did not get to see it live?
Well,
I know I'm kind of going away from the Kinect, but
yeah.
Chase kind of made me want to ask you about that specifically.
Sure. Man. I mean, he touched on a lot of good points. You know, they didn't show the gameplay that they were supposed to show, and that product had been marketed so heavily as, you know, top tier, mind blowing graphics, processing power for gameplay and game visuals that you've never seen before, experiences that you won't get anywhere else. And their premier game, as Storm said, the coup de grace, you know, the top tier, biggest game they've ever gotten on their stable, looked more like something we played on the Xbox 360, even Xbox One early days. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't look bad, it just didn't look like anything that made me go, oh my God, I really have to reconsider whether or not I'm going to get this box or I'm going to start reinvesting into this ecosystem. That said, the whole the show really it shifted the conversation from that for a lot of people to from the box being, this powerhouse, because that's been the conversation around. It's a powerhouse, you're going to be getting the best, to Game Pass, xCloud possibly. Game Pass. Let's focus on Game Pass and xCloud possibly. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's, well, I can't say that I don't think that was their intention, because I honestly do believe that was their intention. They wanted to ship people over to that, but that's not what the audience was looking for. That's not what the consumer base was looking for. They were looking for that big show, of mind-rocking gameplay, just knocking your socks off, and we didn't get that at all. So it was disappointing to me.
Fair enough. So on the Kinect, how have you taken it 10 days later?
I thought the Kinect was fine. It wasn't a mind-blowing show, but again, this is a brand new platform, and for me, I agree with Chase. It was definitely targeted towards the casual, because it was them kind of reintroducing themselves to the audience, saying, hey, we have this pro membership. We have these games available. You can jump on for free. We give you 1 month for free. We've got these games, and check it out. We've got a cool family-friendly exclusive as well, plus a Game of the Year game. You might want to check us out. I think that's what that approach was. I don't think it was, again, targeted towards us specifically, because we already know. I mean, a lot of the stuff they were showing, we're like, we know this, but this is all great stuff. People were all so upset because we're so deeply invested into finding every little bit of information on it. It wasn't for us. It was for the new people saying, what the heck is Stadia?
But remember, we saw clicks to play.
Right. You know what I mean?
Click and play.
Right. It was definitely to introduce new people who are curious about the platform, showing them kind of a well-rounded, how long was it? 8 minutes, 18 minutes, something like that? It was 18 minutes. Right? Yeah. So it was nice, quick, simple, to the point. It wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
So versus the Xbox presentation, which one was better?
To me, they did a better job. Personally, because
Yep.
If you look at the way both shows, how what the end results were for both shows, what I'm trying to say, okay, was the the people talking about Stadia afterward pretty much stayed consistent. It was on the same path. Okay, Stadia is cloud gaming, has pro games, all that stuff, whatever. Pretty cool. I can get into this. With Xbox, again, the conversation was shifted to something else. So if that's what they were going for, was the big bang, they didn't get that. So I think they did a better job. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Straight up.
And
remember, click to play. Click to play. I see y'all.
Unfortunately, you can't click and play any links in this live stream. MM2K.
Eddie, we're gonna need like on the soundboard when I say get the scrolls. So first and foremost, what I think about the Kinect, you guys know me. I probably had like one of the harshest scores. I had a 4.5, but after I saw the react, and again, to rehash, my 4.5 was based upon not my personal displeasure with it, but I was looking at it from a business lens. I thought that Yong Ye got the ultimate mushroom that was going to make him bigger than any Mario ever, and he was going to go romping and stomping and jumping all over the internet, and it was the complete opposite. So I took the 4.5 and I raised it to a 6.5. I would have done it higher, but I'm being stubborn. I still wholeheartedly believe that the Kinect is more of a bursting out party to show, hey, look, we're getting closer to that big stage. And I think the show has to look more like what the previous Kinect looked like. I think the stuff that they presented here would have been better suited, released earlier, and then you do something like a Stadia Pulse, where you sit down with Aaron Hoffman, Jack Buser, 15 minutes, and then y'all just rehash that stuff and play the games in your hands, and that'll resonate more with the community. I'm being stubborn on that, so that's why I'm sticking with a 6.5. But overall, this Kinect got the best media reception ever. I've been looking at article after article. My wife wants to throw me outside of the house because I won't get off the phone. I've been looking at article after article, and this is the best media reception ever. Chase and I have talked about this. Maybe some of the more social media reception has been more 50-50 after the Kinect, but the media, I can't believe it. Like Tom Warner, the Verge has behaved. I can't believe it. I'm in bizarre land. So this was a great reception that they got. So I think it fared better than I originally thought.
And versus
versus Xbox. Okay, so let's look at it in two buckets. Bucket number one is, what are the games that I would love to play, and two, who met their product placement goal. I got to keep it real, y'all. I got to be real here. If I look at the lineup of games that are there on the Connect and the lineup of games that I'm being offered for Xbox, I'm picking the Xbox games because they're newer. I love Obsidian. Obsidian is one of my top 5 developers of all time. I love their top-down RPG games. The Crossfire campaign was fire. I'm not real big on Fable, but the Medium is okay. The Gunk was all right. Avowed. So they had some games there that more tickled my fancy personally.
Yeah.
And I would have taken those over the Connect game. But then we go to the other bucket. Who met their product placement goal? MM2K is not Google's product placement goal. I am a tech enthusiast that happens to stick with the game lineups because I'm sour with Xbox. Their product placement goal, their target demo, are other tech enthusiasts that have better reasons to be with the platform and casual gamers, right?
Yeah.
So for that reason, they hit their targets better than Xbox. Xbox, I think, bit off more than they could chew. Stadia is biting off little morsels at a time, and they're chewing them more adequately. So if the question is who looks more like a slob right now and is choking to death, it looks like Xbox, because they said we create the console that eats monsters for breakfast, and it does. It looks like they couldn't handle a Smurf, for crying out loud. Gargamel will give them a run for their money. So the show fell short of expectations. It was bad. As much as Stadia gets romped and stomped, and big ups to somebody that I podcast with. I love you, brother. We've been battling on this behind the scenes. They said, how dare does Stadia say anything about Xbox? But no matter how bad Stadia's been romped, they have never had a meme like Craig. The Craig meme is what they're calling it. They have never had something that looked that weird blasted all over social media. Xbox is getting decimated right now, again, because they are to be on the big stage. They have a 20-year lineage, and they're just not delivering. People expected more from them, and they should have. Stadia's only been here for 7 months. Is it fair? No, but perception is not intense of the law. It is what it is. So I think because Stadia's biting off smaller morsels, they did better. They did better. They reached out to the casuals. They said, okay, casuals and the media were well receptive to it, and Microsoft fell flat on their face. So those are my thoughts.
There you go. So I did a quick poll on my Twitter page on who had the better show, and this has changed overnight. Like, immediate reaction was, oh, Xbox crushed Stadia.
Oh, yeah.
But over the last 20 hours or so, that window is narrowing down. I mean, Xbox looks like it's going to take this one, but just kind of want to get that general pulse from the community and what people thought, especially since obviously my community heavily skews towards Stadia. So still interesting to see. My personal take on the Kinect, at least, is that, well, I've cooled down, hence the relaxed title. But there's still some things I think they just missed on, and I'm not going to be have my mind change about it. So I think there's still not a huge piece that came out of it. Yeah, we're going to get features eventually, but we don't have them yet. So it's something we already knew. And there just wasn't like a killer app on there that I don't think is going to drive people to the platform. So I think that was just 2 big points off of it. And then versus Xbox, I wasn't a big fan of what I saw. Like Meg was saying, like Halo just kind of looks like it's the same thing. It's just with a different setting, maybe. But I mean, it's still early. It could change my mind. But a big deal out of it was that every game is available with Game Pass, and we knew that going in. There's the Destiny news. People think that might be a shot at Stadia because they're including Beyond Light. I think Duncan was on that one. Chase, do you think that was a shot at Stadia with them including Destiny as a part of Game Pass? Because I think you said that in the stream, right?
I did, but I was under the impression, and I misheard it. MM corrected me, and I'm glad that he did, because I kind of had heard something differently. But I thought they were getting Beyond Light and any future expansion. It's not. It's from Beyond Light back, so it's not as bad as I thought. Because if they had included all future expansions as part of Game Pass, I don't think it's a big deal to new players. Like if you're talking about like buying a system versus a system. But a lot of the Destiny community has chosen to play over on Stadia because of the lack of what? There's not cheating. So what then comes down to? What is it? I'm willing to buy the expansions and play on Stadia, or is the trade-off I'll pay the $15, get Destiny and all future expansions? That was my line of thinking for that community. But now knowing that, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
And my argument for that is, well, on Stadia you can play Destiny for $10 a month instead of $15. So if they're already playing on Stadia, I don't see why they would migrate over to Xbox unless they have some internet issues or.
Well, if you got the other expansions included, is what I meant. Like, because right now you'd have to purchase each individual expansion on Stadia. That's all I meant.
Okay, fair enough. Any final thoughts on the Kinect or the Xbox Game Showcase? All right. Sounds good. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to stop here for today. So before we get started, or Meg's like, no.
So we just got started. Oh my gosh.
I said about 90 minutes was going to be the window, unfortunately.
So that's okay.
2 weeks from today, which is August 7th, I think. Yep, August 7th. We should be back at our normal time. I'm going to have a strongly worded letter sent to Comcast and see what the hell's going on with that. But I was recording this in the background, so at least most of it. So I think maybe the first 5 minutes might still look weird, but after that, it should be a lot better because my camera looks exactly the way I'm looking at it. So we should have all the bugs fixed out with the re-upload. I'll put it up tomorrow sometime. But MM2K, I'm going to start with you. Let people know where they can find you on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, whatever you want to feel like sharing.
I deeply apologize. You guys might hear my jet engine in the back, but it's 1,000 degrees here. You can find me on YouTube at MM2K vids. Also at Stadia Dosage. You can also find me on Twitch at Mighty Most 2000 and Stadia Dosage. And Twitter is MM2K. And you can find me on Scrampunks every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with here.
Hermione, where can people find you?
You can find me at LXIV Gold on Twitter and also youtube.com/LXIV Gold as well.
Awesome. Chase, where can people find you on Twitter and podcast platforms?
Well, so for the podcast, I'm going to let Eddie announce that one.
Okay.
So I'll let him take that one. As far as on Twitter, you can find me at Phantom UFC Fan.
Perfect. Meg, how about you?
Yeah, my YouTube is youtube.com/MegatronX, and my Twitter is Meg_Atron_X. And yeah, follow me at both those places.
Awesome. And Eddie?
You can find me at EddiePlayer1 on YouTube, Twitter, and with Cheese at Choose, the This Week on Stadium Theater podcast every Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Perfect.
Nice.
And this has been episode 8 of the Stadia Initiative podcast. We do this every 2 weeks here at youtube.com/Club Stadia. We do this on Friday nights at about 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. If you're in the UK, you're usually sleeping anyway. So I do want to thank you. I do want to thank you guys. You can listen to us on platforms that you have your favorite podcast elsewhere. Let me re-say that. You can listen to us on your favorite podcast platforms if you're not here live, or you can watch the stream re-uploaded on YouTube as well, especially this one because we had some technical difficulties throughout the whole show. But again, I want to thank everyone for joining us. I hope you guys all stay safe out there. And unless you guys have any parting words, I think that's where we're going to stop right now, and we'll move on to the rest of our night.
Peace.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Catch you down the road. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.